Brothers and sisters, thank you for joining me today for another message that the Lord has asked me to give, and further light and understanding that He's given on messages from the past that have been given. And as always, I ask that you will take all things to the Lord and allow the Holy Spirit to walk you through what it is you need to know for yourself. I can only give the messages directly given to me for the purposes that He's asked me to share them. And so that's what I'm going to do today. So yesterday the Lord had me sharing the breakdown of Revelations given. And in that, He had me give the date 7/15 is when everything, that's the kind of the toppling date of when the earth does the folding on its axis. But that's the starting date of this. Okay, so as I walk through this, it will begin to make more sense. So yesterday, He had me share in different videos. First, He had me share 7:15, how Elijah had told me planes would fall out of the sky after the sons of God are awakened, and let's see, the lunar eclipse, the sealing of the sons of God, and the sealing of His people. And if you understand who the 144,000 are, if you understand the family unit in the kingdom of God, the 144, that actually, yes, they are the fathers of 144,000 families. So every family unit in God's kingdom has 7 people in it. And there's, father is, 1 of 7, mother is 2 of 7, and then there's 5 children. And so the 144, where these 144,000 sons come from, is they are actually fathers. And so they're the fathers of these families. And so that'll make sense with what I share today. So this process begins of the earth folding itself at 7. It's going to fold itself in half as I shared. So 7:15, that process begins, and He also had me share yesterday about the importance of fasting for the sons of God, and that will absolutely make sense today, especially for the women, your husbands, the sons of God, like in this 3-day fast of praying the 12th, the 13th, and the 14th for our husbands, for their road of Damascus experience. And so if you understand what's been prophesied about 3 days of darkness, 3 days of darkness is the road to Damascus experience that people are going to experience. And I'm not just saying, that this will also happen with women and other people, but the sons of God is very important at this time that they are awakened. So I'm going to share a dream that I had, and then I'm going to go into this eclipse that He showed me, because this is glorious and absolutely amazing, but it all ties into the sons of God. So I had a dream, probably like maybe 5 weeks ago, where this woman was beckoning me to call or follow her. She was running through this crowd, and as she was running through the crowd, she was pointing out men in this crowd, and as soon as she'd point to them, they would turn and look at me. And then another scene in this dream was that I saw this man, and now I understand who the man was in the dream, but he went up to a man and he had given him a holy kiss. And then he went up to another man and given him a holy kiss. And then he went up to another man, and as he went to give him a holy kiss, it was like you could see all the filth that was, like, this person was clearly not prepared. Like, still the bondage and chains and shackles of this life were completely, like, had still engulfed him. And so as Christ, as He had me share yesterday, on 7/17, on creation calendar, this sealing is complete of that process, and that's the end of Revelation 7. So then, because the sealing has been done for the 144,000, if you understand what I explained at the beginning, who the 144,000 are, they're the fathers of 144,000 families of God that are here. Okay, so during this process, the 7/16 on creation calendar is the lunar eclipse. So if you start the very next day on the 17th and go to 8/8, okay, this is 21 days. Okay, so during that time, there will be many things going on during that time period. So he had me talk about yesterday about this energetic, I guess it's a magnetic pole. Okay. And at first I thought he was just talking about the 15th, and he was explaining to me last night, that's when it starts, is that 7:15, when the earth begins to fold itself. And when that happens, if you understand the tribe of Dan is darkness. They are fallen. Dan is fallen. And so you will see the darkness come forward when that fold begins to happen. Okay. And so if we see that, I'm sorry, I just lost my train of thought. I got distracted by something outside the window. Okay, let me back up. Okay, so he had me share, that's when everything begins, is 7:15. But in the process of that, he had showed me, he was taking me back to when Elijah came in and told me what he told me about, the awakening of the sons of God, and then the, I'm sorry, I've lost my train of thought. So awakening the sons of God, and then the planes would fall out of the sky. And I thought that he was talking about just at that moment. And he's like, this is a progression. So over this 21-day period, but not quite 21. Okay, there's going to be 2 weeks of that silence in heaven. And during those 2 weeks, whatever that needs to look like for God, that's what it's going to look like for God. But as we get to 8/1, we begin to see this unfold, and why I was instructed last night to share with women and with everyone to be fasting for these sons of God. So I'm going to flip over my camera and I'm going to show you this. Okay, okay, let me back up. Sorry, there's so much information. Okay, so in the 10th month of 22, if you're looking at man's calendar, he had me give a declaration and decree that no matter what Satan did to stop the signs in the heaven from being seen, they would not be seen. Well, what stops the signs from being seen in the heaven? It's the planes. They're literally what they're doing in the sky. So it makes sense that they would have to be taken out of the sky in order for God's glory to be seen in the heavens. Okay, so during this process, we have this from the 15th to, we'll have 3 days in there. And then from the 17th to the 8th is this process that will be taken through. And we'll experience, the 15th is a Sabbath, the 22nd is a Sabbath. Then on the 1st, on when the eclipse hits on God's calendar, is actually 8/1. So then we have the eclipse. Then we go into what he's going to have me share today on Jericho's wall and the sons of God. And this is truly, guys, this is so amazing. I see now why he's had me give so much information about the dream that I was given in October of 21. So then 8/1 is considered a new moon feast. And then 8/8 is the 8th represents circumcision. And so we have 8/8, again, it's a Sabbath of light. So this starts on a Sabbath and it ends on a Sabbath. This portion of what he's having me teach, okay? So I'm going to show you this, and then, well, no, okay. All right, thank you, Lord. Okay, I need to just regroup myself today. I feel like I'm all out of balance, which is probably what's happening, right? Everything's going out of balance. So in the dream that I had in October of 21, I reposted today the second portion of that, because God had me go back, and Father was like, you have to emphasize the arches and what they're there for and how they work. And like, it's been a progression of understanding over the last 2.5 years what these arches are even for and how they even work and why I was showing them in the detail that I was showing them in the dream. So in the dream, I had shared in that video how the first world is always patterned after, every world is always patterned after the first kingdom, and the worlds without numbers are the inheritance of his sons. Okay. And above the first kingdom is a golden arch. And I'm talking like gold like you've never seen before. Like beautiful, beautiful, beautiful gold. And that represented because every kingdom has a Michael archangel, because every kingdom is patterned exactly after the first kingdom. Okay. So every kingdom then therefore, which is a father, has an archangel, has an arch, a golden arch above their world connected to that very first gold arch. Okay, so all the worlds are connected with golden arches. And these golden arches allow the people to move freely between heaven and earth. Okay, and he had me share in there, if the sons of God don't remember who they are, they've fallen asleep in the spirit of, complacency and the spirit of reprobate, I think is how you say it, reprobate spirit. So they're not sure of themselves. They're rejecting the light. They won't step into their callings. They're very much so kind of asleep, which is why this road to Damascus moment has to happen for people. And he had me explain that if the sons of God don't remember why they're here and stop letting this world entice them, their kingdoms will fall. And I didn't understand what that meant as well. So last night, or yesterday afternoon, I was taken back to the dream that I had April 4th, if you're looking at man's calendar, last year. Okay, and it was right in the middle of, if you're looking at now how it will line up, it's right in the middle of the week of 8/1 to 8/8 on God's calendar. Okay, right in the middle of this week of when the eclipse happens. And I can see now why the world is trying to terrify people of this. But it's something very beautiful. But of course, Satan wants people in a state of fear. Okay, so I'm going to flip this over and I'm going to show you this drawing and you will recognize it. He had me post it a few days ago, and it's the dream of resurrection and the eclipse. And at the time, if you remember, I had been super, super sick when he gave me this, and I was told to go outside and ground myself because I was being told I was feeling the imbalance of the earth. So everything has to come back into this beautiful balance. So I'm going to show you guys this. Flip over my camera. Okay. So hopefully you guys can see this. I'm going to try to pull it out as far as I can. Okay, there we go. Okay. So if you remember this drawing, in this dream, I was given this picture, and I could see this line here, and then there was, a spot, and I could see it slowly going around the sun until it looked like this. Okay, and there was this V here, and I was like, okay, what is that for? And I had laughingly said, well, maybe it's V for victory. And the Lord was like telling me yesterday, you're exactly right. That's exactly what it is. Okay, this V is the entry point and the exit point. So the sons of God literally will enter here and exit here. Okay, so this represents Jericho's wall, which is 8/1 is the practice run. It is the eclipse, and 8/8 ends Jericho's wall. So we go from 8/2 to 8/8, Jericho's wall. He had me share Ring of Fire at 3. So every day at 3, we are going to see this ring of fire. And what this represents, these lines, yes, they're the men, but they actually represent the golden arches that I saw in that very first dream. They're the pure gold, okay? And when those, so when this takes place, Ring of Fire at 3, for those 7 days, you will literally, it's like a vibrational fork that will go off. We will see things in the heaven, you will feel them on the earth. This is when it's so important for you to be outside and in linen. This is a massive healing process for those who will see it as it is, which is exactly why the adversary does not want people outside and wants them scared of what's happening instead of seeing the beauty of what's happening. So this represents the sons of God and the arches. They are going to all arc together. They're arcing together. the sons of God when this is taking place. This is a vibration that this world, it's this pure gold that gives off the most powerful vibration of any other substance. And that's why he had me emphasize so many times on this pure, pure, pure gold and these arches over and over and over again. So if the sons of God don't want to participate in this, then, then their kingdom can't be arched together with this process. And in that incident, their kingdom would fall, because these arches are meant to connect the kingdom so that we can move freely between them. And if the sons of God don't wake up, then they will not participate in this arcing process, and their kingdoms will fall. They're no longer arced to the very first kingdom, which this is what this represents. The Son represents the Father. Okay, so let me flip this back. Okay. So I pray that makes sense and helps people understand what is happening. And if you see from, if you see it from the Lord's eyes, this magnetic pole we're going to be experiencing it up until that point, but it is truly going to be manifested on 8/8. And at 8/8, at that point, Jericho's wall falls, and like he had me share, then the tribulations begin. So we go into that in 8/1, that 30 minutes of silence, which he had me share yesterday, is the 2 weeks. This 2-week process between 7/17, I believe, and I have to look back on the dates he gave me yesterday, and 8/1. So there was a 2-week process in there. I think that there was something else also involved in there that I can't remember. I'd have to go back and look on my notes. But I pray that helps us understand. I'm supposed to put the link on there of the video that I did of the declaration and decree in the heavens that the fathers would be seen. That was literally the declaration that the signs of the fathers would be seen in the heavens. And I look back now and I'm like, this is so glorious. And then earlier today, I already had posted the video of the dream when I was showing the eternities and I was showing these arches. So, especially for the women that have been asked to participate in this fast. I mean, every woman, please be participating in this fast, because we are the portals. We are the mothers that brought these children into the world. These sons of God absolutely need our fasting for them. I was instructed yesterday the Lord had told me salt and water was what we were supposed to, like Himalayan salt or Celtic salt, during this fast for the sons of God. That they will be awakened and step into their roles. And so may we all watch this unfold for what it is and get to see the beauty of it as it unfolds. It's truly going to be glorious, and if we see it for what it is. And so again, I had said yesterday, so I'm correcting a few things in there. Yes, everything does start on 7/15. Absolutely. That is the date he's given me. It's right in the middle of the 7th month there. He's made it very crystal clear that is the day that it begins. That where I was not understanding was the sons of God have to be woken up. And then at that point, before these signs are seen in the heavenly realm as these archangels, arc their worlds around the sun. So it's an eclipse that the world doesn't understand, but it's going to look different than what the world thinks. So when I say eclipse, it's not going to look like how the world is saying. Okay, and you will see it for what it is and the beauty for what it is. But you definitely want to be outside. That's why I was given a ring of fire at 3. And I was told I think it's Eastern. I can't remember, because I know, if you were in Arizona, 3 o'clock would be at 12. So hopefully that will help you kind of get your own time zone of knowing when to be outside and how important it is for you to be outside. The linen is also very important because it takes your vibration up to 5,000. It's a very healing for your body. And these tuning forks, basically it's going to be, that's the best way that I can explain it. It's not a tuning fork, but the vibration that's going to come from these sons of God arcing their worlds together is going to be amazing. So I pray that helps and gives clarity, and that you will take everything to the Lord and be prepared for yourself. And in the process of this, he had me talk about yesterday really quick about in the fasting about this, how the sons of God are literally mimicking each other. But if you look at the women, a lot of the women are mimicking each other. And so the whole process of this, why there's a lunar and a solar eclipse, right? Mother and father, because father is the sun. And so, and the moon is the mother and the son, like SON. And so you bring mother's balance, that lunar eclipse, you bring her balance back into balance with the father, and everything goes back into perfect balance, which is why when I was being given this dream, I was so out of balance that I was so sick, and Father was like, go outside and ground yourself. And then he explained to me I was feeling the world's in balance. So the lunar and solar eclipse are completely key in this to bring everything back into balance with creation. So I pray that you will take that to the Lord, and that this will give further insight, and we may truly see the days that we were living in, and they are glorious, and we may know in our hearts, sit with the Lord and know what it is that we need to be fasting for these sons of God, because we see that there's this complacency, there's sexual sin, there's their fear, and there's their unsurety, and the list goes on and on. So sit with the Lord yourself and ask him, okay, show me what I need to be fasting for the sons of God. So as always, have a wonderful day and take this to the Lord for yourself. God bless.